Welcome, Crypt Fiends, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny. I'm here with my co-host Godden, and together we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And today we've got a special episode. We have not watched or are getting ready to review an episode. We're going to rank the episodes. We just finished up with season 2, and we are going to go ahead and rank it. Godden, how are you this morning?
I'm excited. It's a good morning. It's a good morning so far. But I'm excited for these season 2 rankings, honestly.
Oh, I am too. I can barely contain myself. I made this little tier maker thing, and this is actually, we're going to put a link to this down below if you also want to rank the season 2. So if you watched along with us and you want to rank, you can do it. And you know, it'll be exciting. It'll be an exciting event. I'm hoping. I like these little rank things. It's kind of neat to organize your thoughts all on one screen. So I kind of like these for that reason. I'm thinking this is our first time doing this type of ranking. So I'm thinking we can just run through each of the episodes. Maybe we can give like the briefest of brief recaps of the episode. Maybe we could talk about our original score that we gave it, and then maybe decide if we want to make a change to that score now that we've seen all the episodes, and eventually have see where everything lands. I don't know where everything's going to land yet, Godden.
I have a rough idea where we kind of agree on. So, but other than that, I'm not sure where the rest will land though. So yeah,
it'll be fun. So let me run through the rankings real quick. We've got the Crypt Keeper's Masterpiece. Those are just the best of the best. Obviously, that's going to be episodes that I think everybody should watch, even if you're not a Tales from the Crypt fan. I'm thinking that's going to be an episode that really is universally liked by many people, and just a great episode. Essential viewing. If you're going through the Tales from the Crypt, those are episodes that you've got to watch. Worthy viewing. I'm thinking those are episodes that you should watch at least once or watch eventually. So maybe if you're not quite in the mood for a particular episode, just skip it. But then, worthy viewing, you would definitely want to go back and watch it eventually. Optional viewing would be, just if it's something that's up your alley, if it happens to be a premise that interests you, watch it. Otherwise, maybe not. I mean, you don't, it would be up to you. And then the last one would be avoid. And I'm thinking those are episodes that you could just should completely skip, unless you're like a completionist or something like that, unless you're doing a podcast where you have to review every single episode. So here's something interesting, God, I noticed while I was going through them. I didn't pick the colors for this. It picked it itself. And look how the top is red and the bottom is green. Mm-hmm. Don't you think that should be the other way around? The colors?
I haven't done a tier list in a while, but yeah, I mean, I think you can change the colors too, however you want it, realistically.
I don't like the way it is.
I see.
I'm going to do it right now.
There you go.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Green should be the best.
It doesn't make sense to me. And green should be the best.
And red
the middle should be yellow, yeah. And then the bottom two should be the orange and the red. I don't know why I did it that way. Right. There we go. That's better for me. That's better. That looks a lot better now. Right? Green for go, yes. Crypt Keeper Masterpiece. Red for stop, avoid, right?
Yeah.
Let's go through these. So, Dead Right. That was the season premiere starring Demi Moore. Okay. And remember, that was the one where she goes to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller tells her, you're going to meet somebody, you're going to marry him, and he's going to die. And when he dies, he's going to be worth a lot of money. She says, oh, wow, I'm going to be a widow, a rich widow. So, and then it turns out that she's the one who becomes rich. And when he kills her, he inherits all the money. So that was kind of the twist on that one. I liked this episode when we first watched it. I gave it a 4, and you gave it a 3.9. Did you have any more thoughts about this episode, or did you want to make a change to your score?
I think I just gave it a 3.9 to match you, but it's a 4 realistically. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the whole penguin suit that he had. It just reminded me of the penguin. I couldn't give this I'm not sure if we're going right into the ranking, but I could not give this a masterpiece realistically. There's something about it that's missing, but it's not like a really bad episode or anything like that. They can't make a masterpiece. It's just something else that's missing for some reason.
Yeah,
like a little flair or something else. So not sure.
I agree with you. This is, I don't think it's a masterpiece, but it's a really good episode, and I think you and I are gonna agree. This is probably essential viewing. Would you say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that, but yeah, I don't know how.
I agree. I think this is essential viewing. This is definitely, because I mean, his costume was really on point. It was a really good showcase of the potential of Tales from the Crypt altogether as a show, just with its star power of Demi Moore and just the look of the entire show, the prosthetics. I thought it was an on point episode. This is essential. I think if you're a Tales from the Crypt fan, you've got to watch this episode. All right, that was the season premiere. Next up, we have they're out of order. They got out of order. What was the next episode after that? I don't think we're going to be able to do this whole thing in order. I don't know how these got mixed up, but they were not mixed up when I was when I had first set this all up. That's okay. We'll go out of order. I guess I don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next up is the ventriloquist's dummy. That was episode. That was later on in the season. That was right there, episode 10. So that was the one where Bobcat Goldthwait and Don Rickles. He's a ventriloquist. And the Bobcat Goldthwait character, wants to basically, learn from him or basically, show him how good he is now. And it turns out the whole time that his ventriloquist was his attached brother to his brother attached to his arm. The ending was fun. I like when he chopped off his hand and then his little brother kind of was running around all over the place. That kind of was fun. I definitely dug that part of the episode. What bothered me about this one, though, was I was not a big fan of the Bobcat Goldthwait character. I just, the way he was written, the way he was acted, I wasn't digging it. I found it cringy. I found it annoying. So it was a decent episode. It had great effects. It was nice with the horror and the gore. I liked all that part of it. But the ventriloquist dummy, I gave it a 2.6 and you gave it a 3.2. Would you want to make any changes to this episode?
I think I'll stand on that, honestly. But my biggest thing is I only like the last half of that episode. Like when, it showcases the little twist and it's an arm or his brother in his arms. I'm like, the first half, like, yeah, I don't really care as much. Like thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I could just skip to that part and just call out the episode for me. Yeah,
I think, that's a good point. If you just watch like the last half, just to kind of showcase the practical effects, I think is kind of fun. So according to our scores, we would put it into worthy viewing, according to the scores.
Right.
But if you put the acting aside, I think, I don't know, maybe you might play devil's advocate and help me kind of play through my thoughts here. I'm thinking essential viewing because I think it's a relatively important episode in Tales from the Crypt. I just didn't like it that much. What do you think?
That's a hard one because I am between worthy and essential. Like I said, my only issue is just the beginning. Like it's an important piece to the plot, but it's just like kind of drags on a little longer than it should have. I felt like, and like I said, it really amps it up on the second half.
Yeah,
it's a tough one because the dialogue between them was actually not that bad. It's only the one character who's kind of but everything else was okay. It's a hard one. The essential viewing has to be like. You should watch this, like for sure. Like you should, like this is something you should show your friends. But see, with me, I will only show them the last half. Like, look at this part. It's a hard one, Kenny.
Yeah,
I feel like we should. I should put in worthy because I'm so indifferent about this episode. Yeah. Where I can't just like, hey, you should watch this episode. It's more like, like this is something we could watch. Instead of like, let's definitely watch this one.
Yeah, I think the part of me that wants to put it in essential is a part of me that knows it is a fan favorite. It's kind of a big deal episode. But for me, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think, it sounds to me like we're both trying to talk ourselves out of putting it into worthy viewing, even though we want it to be in worthy viewing.
Yeah.
So I'll put it there in worthy viewing.
Struggling. Okay, cool.
Next up is Judy, You're Not Yourself Today. Which episode was that? That was the
That was when it was the switch with the witch with the necklace.
Yeah,
I love that
body
one.
swapping. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the husband. Oh, he carried that. He carried a good portion of that too. I really like his acting.
That was a really funny episode. That was episode 11. And I gave it a 3.75 and you gave it a 3.9. You are almost there at a 4. Yeah, I think this is a good episode. The first half, maybe even the first 3 quarters, I was really with it. It was the ending. It was towards the last half that it got a little confusing and it felt like it got ahead of itself as far as the plot. I don't know. That's where it started to lose me. So yeah, the first half I was with it. I liked how the husband had said, "Oh, honey, you don't have to run away just because of your cancer." And then it caused the witch to actually switch bodies out from there. I wish they would have done something at that point to really start to switch it up or to make the twist more interesting, because the way they had it here, I don't know, the ending. So would you want to bump it up to a 4-year score or leave it a 3.9 or?
I think I have to 3.9 because of the ending, because there is like a lot of holes to that ending, but had they changed it just a little bit and made it stronger, it would have been 4+ realistically.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even with these kind of some of a mediocre ending, I still really like this episode. Like, it's still strong, and you can just kind of go with how the way you and I kind of made sense of the ending. I made it fun as well, even though it's kind of like why that happened. Like, we try to make the most sense out of it, and I found joy out of that. Realistically, it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. So where would you put it? Would you put it under essential or worthy?
I definitely would show this to people. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, do you want to watch it? I'd like, hey, you want to watch something like fun? Here, let's put this one on. That's where I'm kind of leaning.
Okay, I'm thinking if I put it under worthy, I would want to put it in front. I would rather watch it over Ventriloquist Dummy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm not against that either, because like maybe it's not enough to be essential, but yeah, it's like I enjoyed a really good amount of this episode. Anyways, like I said, like the acting was really spot on.
Mm-hmm.
The whole dynamic was just fun. Like it's very memorable.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. It was a fun episode. It was definitely a fun episode. It had a lot of clever writing in it. The characters were funny. Just that last half is just where it really started to get bizarre on me. I just didn't like burying her in the basement. I didn't like the way she came back. The magic in it didn't make much sense to me, and I wanted more of the "it's me, no, it's me, no, it's me." Like, I wanted more of that, and we only got like one short scene of that. All right, that fitting punishment. That was it was Ezra, the funeral director.
The mortician, yeah.
The mortician who kills his nephew and chops off his feet to fit in a casket. Oh my gosh. What episode was it? That was episode 12. I gave it a 4.25 and you gave it a 4. We both really liked it.
Yeah, I think this kind of reminds me of the last episode. I already forgot the title, where the ending was kind of like random. Like, the ending didn't kind of quite make sense, but it was thoroughly just a very, very solid episode.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked the episode a lot. The ending was weird, and one of our viewers, I think it was Joseph Hill, had also said that he wished the ending didn't end so quickly, because Ezra was painted to be such a bad character all throughout. And then at the very end, right when he's getting his comeuppance, we fade to black and it goes back to the Crypt Keeper. We should have seen what happened to him. He should have got more spotlight on his punishment. I agree with that. I also think that the whole ending of the zombie nephew coming back with no feet was a little out of nowhere. It didn't really make sense with the plot. There was no like voodoo happening beforehand to bring him back. He just came back. That was weird to me. But what I liked about this episode was just the overall tone. It was very dark. It was very brooding. All of the scenes, especially in the basement of the funeral home and the morgue, were just so gross and grotesque. You can almost smell the place. It was done so well, and all the dripping, all the dripping red blood, and so I liked it. I liked the episode a lot. I think, you know what? Remember how we made a big deal about how on Halloween we had that haunted house episode? That was like a perfect match. I think this episode would have been a really good match for a Halloween themed episode.
Yeah, but I'm glad we got haunted house.
Oh yeah, no, haunted house I think worked out better, but this I think would have worked out as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though this wasn't a great episode, I can recognize that objectively. I enjoyed it. I I don't know. Maybe you might want to try to talk me out of this, Godden. I think I want to put this in essential viewing.
Yeah, I'm actually not opposed to that. It's funny because I like the Judy, you're not yourself more than this episode, but because how solid this one is more than Judy, I agree with it being an essential, or just being above Judy in the worthy. But essential is also fine with me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm putting it up there, recognizing I don't think it's a very strong episode, but this is the Cryptiques ranking. If you want to do your own, click on the link down below and do your own. But this is kind of where I think I'm comfortable with having it up there. I really think that the overall theme and atmosphere is just so good and on point that it really paints a good picture as to what Tales from the Crypt is all about. Next is Corman's Calamity. Corman's Calamity is episode 13. I wonder where this is going to end up, Godden, because I gave it a 5 and you gave it a 5.
I already knew where this is going to end up before we did the rankings.
Oh my
I already
gosh.
had it in mind.
This is
so
let's
good.
put it there now so everybody watching can just get it out of the system. Yes. I loved this episode from beginning to end. Hilarious, fun, stylish. It's just absolute bananas in all of the best possible ways.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
This is
It's
the one.
Too perfect.
This is the one where Corman is the artist for Tales from the Crypt, and whatever he draws comes to life. And he draws is monsters, so all the monsters come to life. He also has like that annoying wife who's always at him, so he ends up drawing his wife as a monster character. And then the monster takes out his wife, and he can live happily ever after. And he becomes an artist for, I guess, a romance artist after that. Yeah.
Yeah, he does, because he has his new wife eventually.
Yeah. Oh, something we didn't talk about when we actually did our review was, remember he was taking those pills because they couldn't get pregnant, him and his wife. And we didn't talk about this, but do you think it was the pills that was making his drawings come to life?
Oh, that's actually kind of funny. Maybe the pills were magical, and they just kind of put that there just to see if anyone caught it.
Yeah. I thought about that when we were reviewing it, but I never brought it up. Okay, that's Corman's Calamity. Definitely a great episode. That's a masterpiece. I think even if you're not a Tales from the Crypt fan, that's an episode I think you can have a lot of fun with. Next up is Lower Birth. Lower Birth is episode 14. And we watched that one and did the review with Devin. Devin was on board for that one. And I gave it a 3.99 and you gave it a 3.5. By the way, this is the episode where it's the origin story of the Crypt Keeper. And basically he's a circus sideshow. He's a result of a circus sideshow hookup.
Basically, huh?
You have the two-faced creature. What was his name? The two-faced was
Enoch.
And then you had the 4,000-year-old mummy, and the Crypt Keeper was a result of that. You and I both agree it's not the strongest backstory of the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that we're doing it in this weird order, having just talked about Corman's Calamity, that might have been a better backstory of the Crypt Keeper. What if Corman drew the Crypt Keeper?
Oh,
and he came
honestly,
into existence?
I feel like there's a lot of better backstories that you and I can come up with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Corman's, yeah.
I gave Lower Birth a 3.99. The reason I gave it a 3.99 was because I felt like it should be higher because of the fact that it's giving the backstory to the Crypt Keeper himself. I feel like just the lore that this episode provides alone is worth more. But if I was to give it based on just entertainment, I would have probably given this closer to like a very low 3, maybe even like a high 2. This is a boring episode to me. It wasn't a fun episode to watch.
Yeah, I'm still having issues with the it being a origin story. I felt like he shouldn't have that as an origin story. The Crypt Keeper is way too important for the series for him to have like something boring like this.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm gonna do this. Let's do this. Okay, let's pretend it wasn't the backstory to the Crypt Keeper. Let's say at the very end, They walk in and they just find them in the cave, and that's the end of the episode. And it's not the Crypt Keeper's origin story. Where would you put this?
I'd still put it as an optional viewing, because like the whole premise is like, yeah, he was kept in the cage. He falls in love with a mummy. There was a whole, murder scene with like two different characters, and then yeah, the circus just continues, and they eventually find him just in the cave. But like, what was the point of it? Like I don't know. It was just very it was just lacking in taste. Like there's some, like, I don't know. It just didn't mean much to me.
Yeah.
When I think about it back, it's like, okay, like it just seems like a placeholder for his origin story. That's what more it felt like. Because even if you take it out, like, what was the point of it?
Yeah.
Like there was like no twist to it. Like, I don't know. Like the bad guys just die, but like it's not like it was their fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's Enoch's fault. We're trying to get with the mummy. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Right.
I'm getting annoyed thinking about it, so
I know,
I'm just gonna leave it as optional viewing.
I would have been more excited if, like, it would have. Here's okay. I'll make it better right now. Those jewels around the mummy's neck had the curse. What if one by one, all of the different circus people tried to steal the jewels, but they all got killed, kind of serendipitously or coincidentally, right? Yeah. That would have been kind of a fun little twist on, like, oh, let's see how this person's going to die when they try to steal the jewels. Mm-hmm. Let's see how this person's going to die. And then at the very end, Enoch runs away with her. That would have at least made satisfying. The episode more fun along the way, because what we got was just kind of a boring episode. I would put this at the lower end of optional viewing. But since it's the origin story of the Crypt Keeper, I'm going to put this, unless you talk me out of it, Godden, and I'm open for I'm open for it. I'm going to put this at the bottom end of worthy, because I think it's, at least you should watch it once. So if you're a Crypt Keeper fan, you can see where he came from.
That's fair. Realistically, it shouldn't be an optional view because it's his origin story and we can't do anything about it. That's just canon now. That's just how it is. Yeah, that's the reality.
Okay, so I'll keep it at the lower end of worthy. Okay, well, that brings us to Mute Witness to Murder, which was episode 15. That's the one where that woman sees the doctor killing his husband, his wife, across the courtyard on the balcony. And she's so shocked at what she sees that she can no longer speak. And the doctor ends up committing her to some, like, a sane asylum, some sanitarium. And he basically is keeping her there so she can't, tell on him. And then he ends up killing her husband. And then she finds her voice. And then she lets him die of a heart attack by the end. I gave this a 2.25, 2.25, and you gave it a 2. Do you want to make any changes to that?
I'm not going to put it any lower. I think 2 is fair enough, honestly. I just don't like how they got 2 kind of big stars, and then they gave this kind of bland of a story, Like, I felt like it's like giving Demi Moore a really boring story. It's like, why even hire, cast them? I don't know. Maybe it's just like, wasn't worth their spotlight for that kind of story.
Yeah, I did not like this episode. I think I do want to drop it. Mine's a 2.25. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drop this down to a 1.75.
Oh my gosh!
Just dropped it to a 1.75. It's a boring episode. Remember how it opened with that weird, It was an anniversary party, but they were in costume. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was weird. So it started off being confusing. I was like, is this a Halloween party? And then when they invite everybody to leave, it's just one other couple. So it was one couple's anniversary party with one other couple there, and they're all in costume. That was a weird start to the episode. Where would you put this on the list?
I would say avoid, realistically. Like, okay. I mean, I could skip over it. Like, I don't really care about this episode whatsoever.
No, I was gonna say avoid, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to influence you in any way. So the moment you said avoid, I get it. We both want to. Yeah, don't bother unless you're a completionist. Unless you're really trying to get through all of the episodes. Just this one's not worth it. You can save your time. You can save yourself a half hour. Skip this episode. All right, Television Terror. That was one of the more recent reviews we did. That was episode 16, and we both had a lot of fun with this episode. This is the one where the TV host goes and basically goes into the haunted house, does some filming, and then by the time they get upstairs, the house and all of its previous people who died in the house all come to life. And the woman, the murderer, ends up chainsawing the main character to death, and he jumps out of the window. He gets caught on the curtain cord, and he's basically hanging outside the house as we fade back to the Crypt Keeper. What a glorious order of events for this episode. I felt like all the characters were a lot of fun. The ones who you didn't like were the ones you were supposed to not like, and the ones that you were supposed to like, you definitely liked a lot. And just the way that everything presents itself. We're outside the house, and then we get into the house, and then we go to the kitchen, and then we go to the basement. And then by the time we finally get upstairs is kind of when everything comes to a crescendo. So I really felt like the pacing of this episode was really good. The dialogue, the scenes, the lighting, everything a lot in this episode was a lot of fun. Godden, what do you think?
I completely agree with everything you said. Like, it's just such a great episode. And I think you and I both know where it's going to land realistically.
Yeah,
and I'm happy this became our Halloween episode too. Like, I'm glad we were bestowed this.
Yeah. And the fact that this episode landed on our Halloween. Yeah. So fantastic episode. I'm going to drag this straight up to the top.
You can show it to anyone. You don't tell them it's a Tales from the Crypt episode. And I think they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just strong story, strong dialogue, strong ending. Everything about it was very solid.
Next up, My Brother's Keeper, which was the penultimate episode. That's season 2, episode 17. That's the one where they're conjoined twins, and they can be separated, but there's a 50-50 chance that they're gonna, not gonna make it. So one of the brothers doesn't want to do it. The other brother absolutely wants to do it. And so the brother who wants to do it hires a prostitute to seduce his brother into getting him to change his mind. But she ends up falling in love with him anyway. And then the brother kills the woman. I don't know the brothers' names. One of the brothers kills the woman and then is convinced that he won't get in trouble because they're connected. So they end up going through with the surgery, though. And that's kind of the twist, is they get separated by the end. Or is the twist the fact that at the end, the nice brother ends up having attributes of the cruel brother? Or the womanizing brother. That's kind of twist.
I did like that. That you kind of put the out there. It's like, what was that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave the episode a 4.85, and you gave it a 4.5 for an average of 4.68. I like this episode. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a memorable episode. How they're conjoined, I think it's a lot of fun. It puts them into a lot of fun situations, like when the way they have their dual sinks, the way they have their dual toilets, the way they have their dual bike, like exercise equipment.
Yeah.
It's just they had a lot of fun with how they go about their daily lives, how they get into the fridge together, how they, like all the things they do together. I think is so much fun. I liked it. I'm thinking this might be an essential view. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was just thinking, I think I might put this above the Demi Moore episode. I think I like this more than Dead Right.
Oh.
Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah. But I don't know where you land.
I wasn't thinking about that until you just said it. And now that you say it, yeah, I think so, just because the premise is more cartoony, which makes it like just fun. You know what I mean? Like a fun episode. So I'll go with you on that. Yeah, let's put it ahead of Dead Right. That was a fun episode, and that is the episode that I could see being in the first 3 episode premiere. I could see that episode finding its way in the first 3 episodes. It's fun enough, right? It's memorable enough. I can see people talking about it the next day after watching the episode. Going to work. Did you watch last night's episode? Oh, that was so funny. How they were stuck together. I can imagine those types of conversations. All right, well, that brings us to The Secret. This is the season finale. We just watched this last week. And it was the orphan gets adopted by the rich family who turns out to be vampires. And they're basically trying to fatten him up on sweets so they can, sweeten his blood. So when they drink from his blood, it can be like dessert. When they want to go for him, it happens to be a full moon. And he turns into a werewolf. So that's his secret. So everybody has a secret in this episode. I like this episode a lot. I gave it a 4.9 and you gave it a 4.5. Anything else or anything you want to add on to this episode? Or
I know you love this episode more than I do, but I think the only comment I would make that showcases like, we're different about it is that it's a little corny for me. You know, it's just a little too corny for me. But you know, it's I don't know. I want you to place it. I don't want to say anything because like for me, it'd probably be worthy realistically or under. Like I'm okay with this episode not existing or showcase someone else. Like
yeah.
You know, like, but I want you to put because I know there's a lot of valid points you made, but it's just for me. I can't bring myself to that. Like, oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. What really sold it to me was the boys' relationship with that butler. It was so genuine. It was a real fulfilling relationship to see in the episode. I really bought into it. I really liked it. I really felt for the boy. It's just I liked it. I did like it. Yeah, I would put it. So you were thinking you would put it in worthy
or under? Yeah, worthy's the highest I could go.
Okay,
that's just me though. Yeah, I don't hate it. It's just like it's just a little corny.
Yeah,
it's not like
I see you on
like
the
other episodes.
I get it. I see what you're saying. It is a bit corny, and the twist is weird because the boy in the very beginning it's set up on a full moon. He leaves. He goes out, and then he comes back the next morning, and his clothes are all ripped up. And he's all dirty. So clearly he's out doing something on full moons. So it's set up right away. Okay, he's a werewolf. I get it. Then by the end, he discovers he has a secret. That's weird. That's poor writing, right? That's just bad writing altogether. But that doesn't take away from just the genuine connection I felt from those two characters. I really liked it. I think it was maybe it was the actors who really sold it well to me. And the plot and everything else was kind of weird. If I put it in worthy, I think I would rather watch it than Judy You're Not Yourself today.
Oh wow! I think that's the first time we actually have a clash because I would 100% watch Judy You're Not Yourself today over that 5 times. But I'm not against this. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, like because I know for these kind of rankings, you put the one on the left as the peak for that catalog, but they're the same catalog at the end of the day for me, so I'm not as hurt if they're one's above the other. It's whatever. It's all so the same.
You would feel more comfortable with something like this, Judy You're Not Yourself today, and then The Secret.
Yeah, but like I said, to me, I always just compile the catalogs. I don't actually like make and break that point. Like, it has to be above that one. It has to be below that one. Like, I don't care enough. Like, as long as it's in the catalog, I'll take it.
Okay.
So if you think it's better than Judy, then I'm fine with it.
No, I'm not against it. I think I'm on cloud 9 with this episode, and you're being my voice of reason. So I'm gonna defer to you on that one. So there it is.
The blue light, the blue filter alone. Was
the
like,
blue filter episodes.
Oh,
you're right. If I was at home and somebody had never seen this show and I was excited about showing them an episode, I would avoid showing them this just because of blue light. I'd be embarrassed about it. You like this episode? This is weird. Okay, that brings us to the Switch. Now, the Switch was also part of the season premiere. It was episode 2. And this is the one where the old man is swooning for that young girl. He's in love. And he doesn't want to tell her about his money. So instead, he just spends his money on replacing his body parts with body parts of a much more young, attractive man. And he starts with his head, but she complains of his body. So then he gets his body, but then she complains about his legs. So then he ends up buying all the limbs, spending all of his money. And he's just an absolute handsome, young, buff man. But then by the time he goes through all the surgery, she falls for his old body. His old body, the person that he was switching with ends up getting all the money, and then she wanted the money all along. So I think that's a great twist. It's a lot of fun. It was also directed by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which only inflates my love for this episode. So I like the episode a lot. I gave it a 5, and you gave it a 4. Anything else you want to say about the episode, or where you'd place it?
I 100% place it essential, but I'm not sure what could push it to a masterpiece, because there's nothing wrong with it. It was really fun and memorable as well, but maybe you can talk me into putting in the masterpiece if you want it there.
Yeah, I just think that if you skim the surface of Tales from the Crypt, if you just imagine in your mind Tales from the Crypt and just the episodes that float to the top. So I'm talking the all through the houses, right, dig that cat, he's real gone. These are the types of episodes that just float to the top for me. And this is one of those. I think I always remember thinking about switching the body parts and going for it. So I really think that across the entire spectrum of Tales from the Crypt, this is one of those episodes that stand out to be a lot of fun, very interesting, and just very cartoony in nature of its plot and premise. But you buy into it, and then it feeds into how fun the twist is at the end. Oh, he did all this work to switch out all of his body parts, which is already ridiculous. But in reality, she just wanted the money anyway. Like, that was the whole point of the story. It's so much fun. I think it would be a masterpiece, but I wouldn't be against top tier essential viewing. I don't know. Did I talk you into masterpiece?
Well, because I'm not too sure what really kicks it for you for masterpiece. Because I know personally you like gore, just a little bit, on some of these episodes, and I know that episode had nothing like that.
Yeah,
like no one dies, everyone's kind of chill, so that's why.
I think it was just a fun twist. I think it was just a fun over the top twist at the very end.
Yeah, I don't mind it leading our essential viewing list. Like it's really strong. Yeah, but I'm not sure what would put it into masterpiece if you were to make changes.
A lot of fun on that episode. Cutting Cards was the episode 3. So this was the last episode of the premiere episodes. This is Lance Hendrickson and that other dude that I can't remember his name. Kevin Teague, was it, I think? But they're the ones who play, they're basically gamblers who just go back and forth, and they end up playing Russian roulette, and then they end up playing that chop poker where they chop off pieces of their limbs. We had John on for this episode. He helped us review this one. Such a fun episode. A lot of back and forth dialogue between the two. And we even touched on the fact, like, is this like a love story, or is this like a story of two men who hate each other? Because it goes back and forth. I think they have a profound, deep love for each other that just comes out in a very bizarre way. But it was a fun episode. I liked it a lot. I gave it a 4.5. You gave it a 4.5. John gave it a 5. The reason I didn't pop it up to a 5 was because of the lack of gore. But really, I don't know. Where would you put this?
I'm not, I was thinking about it, and I'm not opposed to putting it as a masterpiece, like, because I was rethinking about it, and I had no issues. The dialogue was really on point, and the whole, like, when you get to the chopping scene, you get your gore if you want a little bit of gore, but just the high intensity of just them upping the ante, it was just, I'm all for it, I was backing up the whole episode.
Yeah. You know what? And since you bring it up, there was minimal gore in this episode. There's a little bit when he chopped his hand off. Yes. Okay. But the fact that I was willing to give the switch a 5 with how little gore that had, I feel bad about not giving Cutting Cards a 5. So I'm actually going to go back and retroactively change my Cutting Cards score to a 5. So if I give it a 5, you gave it a 4.5. John gave it a 5. It has an average of 4.83. And can we agree it's a masterpiece?
I think John would come in here and rip our tier list if we don't give it a masterpiece.
Where do you think it places among these top 3 so far? I think I'd rather watch it than Television Terror.
Oh, really? I thought you'd have been. I mean, it's pretty good. What's our first one right now? Is it
Corman?
Oh yeah, that's so hard to beat.
Yeah.
I like Television a little bit more, but but it's so polar opposites in a way.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent if it's the bottom of the list or the middle of the list for this.
Okay.
I'm okay with either.
Maybe I'll leave it there. Maybe I'll leave it where it is. Because Television Terror does have that gore element to it that I think should push it up. Next is Till Death, which was season 2, episode 4, which is the first episode after the season premiere, Till Death. And this was a lot of fun. This is the one where he gave that woman the love potion. She falls in love with him, and he ends up killing her because she's just so crazy up for him. But she comes back to life, and she just absolutely will not leave him alone. This was a lot of fun, and this had that overacting that I just thought that level of camp. This episode absolutely brought. It had the gore, it had the camp, it had a lot of what makes a Tales from the Crypt episode so much fun to watch. I gave it a 4.75. You gave it a 4.7. Anything else you want to add about this episode?
This is the one where he drinks the rat poison, right?
Yeah.
And then he's tied to the bed afterwards, and the prosthetic with a tongue. Okay, yeah, I think this is an essential viewing, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a good episode.
So I'm gonna throw it up here and essential down here. Now, where do you think it places on that list? I think, oh boy, I can get it past Fitting Punishment, but can I get it past Dead Right? I don't know. Do you think it's better or worse than Dead Right?
You know, I think they're kind of even to me. Yeah. I think I'm okay with it being behind or above it. Like they're kind of equal. I'll juggle those two episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to Dead Right for Demi Moore.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, but yeah, very good episode. Till Death, a lot of fun, and I can easily see Till Death being in that first 3 episodes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
See it too.
Yeah. Next up is Three's a Crowd. Three's a Crowd is episode 5. So this is the episode that came out next. This is the one where it's their anniversary coming up. They're going to that rich man's cabin, and the whole time the main character thinks that his wife's cheating on him with this other man. And quite frankly, I don't blame him, because they're laying it on thick with their friendship for one another. So this man's wife and friend have an inappropriate relationship, inappropriate friendship in front of this man who's married to the woman. And he makes him go crazy, though. This guy goes absolutely crazy. He kills everybody. And then when he drags his wife's dead body to the guest house, there's a surprise party because his wife's pregnant. So not only did he kill his wife and the man that he thought was having an affair with his wife, he killed his unborn child. This is such a dark episode. I think it's a good episode. I think it was filmed well. I think it looks great. I think the pacing is even good. It's a well-made episode. I gave it a 3.5. You gave it a 3.2. I could not give it that high of a score. For me, I just felt like it was too dark. It was too brooding. I didn't like my mood when I was watching it. Like the way I felt when I was watching it, it was just too dark. There was no levity in the episode. It wasn't fun. It was just a really dark, serious episode. So, what do you think?
I mean, I really liked that ending, like how dark it was. Like, oh, wow, like it's such an eye opener. But I am juggling between worthy and essential, because I feel like the tone was very dark, that we're kind of like overlooking that. That's the point of it. But I did have issues. Oh, actually, I don't think I had that much issues with it. I just gave it a lower score because I think it was just more like maybe the actor delivery or the dialogue a little bit. But just the plot by itself, just thinking about it, I think it's pretty good for a Tales from the Crypt episode. I might put it in the bottom half of essential viewing, because if you just want something that's more darker in tone, this is definitely something to show people.
Yeah, I think objectively that's kind of where it belongs, is essential. I just wouldn't watch it. I would put it for me personally, I'd put it under optional viewing. If you're interested in something that dark, then go for it. Okay. But I guess I can see it in going both. Optional viewing, if you're interested in watching something really dark and brooding that goes there, then yeah, give it a try. But I can see it going in essential, because I think maybe it is important for Crypt people who watch Crypt to see how dark it can get. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think because you and I are on both ends for that, I think worthy viewing might actually just be the placeholder for that. Like it's like right there, you know?
Yeah, right in the middle. Yeah, I am. It does. I can see it going in either one. So I think maybe you're right. Maybe putting it in the middle. Yeah, it is a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a good episode. I understand it's a good episode. I get all of that part, but it's just, I don't like the way I feel when I watch it. I watch Tales from the Crypt for the gore, the camp, and just the silliness of everything. And this episode, it doesn't offer much gore. It's just the tone overall, the whole, and the twist. So of all the twists, I think this is one of the most impactful twists.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get my twist, I want it to be like, oh, ha ha, there's a twist. This twist, I'm like, oh, that's the twist. it doesn't give me the feeling that I want when I get the twist.
I see.
All right, well, let's keep it there then, and let's go to The Thing from the Grave. Thing from the Grave was episode 6. And this was the one with, Miguel Ferrer, who was in RoboCop.
Oh.
I think he did great in this episode. Loved him in this episode. He was the only thing I liked about the episode, I think. This is the one where Miguel Ferrer's fiance is a model, and she falls in love with the photographer. And their relationship is not, it's there's no good chemistry between those two. I don't see them falling in love for real. And he gives her a necklace that if he makes a promise, it has to come true. So basically he says he'll always be there to protect her. So at the end, after Miguel Ferrer kills him, he takes his fiance and basically brings her to a secluded cabin. And at that point, he comes out of the grave and comes and saves her and buries Miguel Ferrer while he's saying, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. That's the one thing I remember about the episode. Is there anything? Oh, by the way, scores. Thing from the, I gave it a 2.5. You gave it a 3. Where do you think this would land on here?
I think worthy viewing. I think it's not gory or anything like that, but I do like the twist where he just kind of comes back and the whole ending scene. Like, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Yeah, I agree. Miguel really carried this episode a lot. I think that's our biggest pet peeve. It's just like, how can one person just really bring up the passion in the episode? Yeah. And the other two are just kind of there.
Yeah. And the main hero of the episode, he was not at all leading man material. He was such a nerd, a dweeb. He was just it was so like not whatsoever a heroic character. And I didn't like him as a character. I'm thinking optional viewing. Maybe if you're a big fan of Miguel Ferrer, check this out so you can see some of his earlier work. But
oh yeah.
It's otherwise it's just kind of a boring dud of an episode.
You don't like the scene where he hits the little switch in the backdrop and he gets a sunset? They have like this little romantic moment.
I remember that, and I didn't like it. That's one of the things that stands out to me. And I'm always like, ugh, it's stupid. Because even in that moment, I was like, stylistically, I didn't even like it. Because I was thinking like, oh, they're dreaming. He's dreaming. I get it. And then it's like, no, this is the studio. This is actually what's there. So it's just stupid. I don't know. I do feel like it's optional viewing. Would you want to try to talk me out of that, or?
No. Honestly, I could see it as being optional viewing. Yeah, if you want to see one of Miguel's earlier work, he kills in this one. Other than that, it's a pretty simple story. Nothing really stands out. It's just like, yeah. Like I said, Miguel really just highlights this whole episode. Yeah. He just carries it.
Yeah.
It's not fair that he does, but yeah.
And we'd already had an episode where a love of somebody else came back from the dead, right? In, what was that? Till Death, right? She come back from the grave.
Which episode was this compared to that one? Which episodes were they?
Till Death, I think, was episode 4. And then The Thing from the Grave was episode 6. So just 2 episodes later, we have another episode where someone's coming back from the grave. It's just like, we just did this.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think I'm more okay with optional now.
Okay, yeah. If you want to save some time, skip this episode. Otherwise, if it seems really interesting to you, go watch it. The Sacrifice was episode 7. This was episode 7. And this is the one where the insurance salesman is sleeping with the wife of one of his clients. And he talks her into killing the husband, taking the insurance money, and going and living together. And when they go through with the plan, though, his boss, who happens to live across the way, has pictures of him throwing the client off the balcony. So he talks them into, or he basically blackmails them into allowing him to sleep with her every night, and then she can go back to him during the day. And they go back and forth on this for like a month or 2, or I forget how long, but basically long enough for him to have enough guilt to take his own life and basically free her of the whole blackmail situation. But it all turns out that that's exactly what they wanted to have happen because they were really in love anyway. It's a weird one. This is also the one where the birds the whole time were like chirping back.
Oh yeah.
Chirping back what like things that were said. And I thought like that would be like a crucial plot element, but it had nothing to do with the plot. It was stupid. The plot was stupid. The plan was stupid. The acting was stupid. It did have Michael Ironside. So that was kind of cool to have him in the episode, but he was in it so minimally, and I just didn't like the episode. What do you think?
I think it's worthy. I distinctly remember the dialogue when his boss comes in and they're in that like room when he says, "I have pictures of this happening." The whole dialogue between the three of them was actually really fun. I remember it being like very it was a fun moment. And I think I'd put this in worthy because it might be like okay to you, like they just been scheming this whole entire time and they're just like kind of like doing all these insurance frauds with like however many people now. And the fact that they're kind of professionals is kind of like crazy to think about. It's like, they're really good at this. Like they're really good at setting people up just to get themselves killed, just to know who the next. Like I think it's fun to like deep dive if you want to. So I think it's okay to put worthy because I can bring up to people like, hey, do you want to watch something with insurance fraud or not?
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a disagreement here again. I would put this under avoid. I would say just skip this episode altogether. I was kind of a boring premise to me. The red herring with the birds really, really bothered me because that was such an obvious way into outing them for the whole ordeal, So a lot of missed opportunities,
right, the birds.
Misdirection in ways that I think weren't necessary. And just, I wasn't a big fan of it. So I would want to put it under avoid. I guess the compromise could be optional viewing, unless you have something to say about that.
I was gonna say that's a good compromise, but if you feel like in your heart that it has to be avoid, I could definitely jump in with you because I'm not that invested in this episode realistically. I'm just trying to give it like it's credit. So optional viewing is good with me, but if you believe it's avoid, I'm not going to hold you back.
Well, if you would be so generous as to how you're saying it, I'll take it. I'll take your pity points. I'm gonna throw it right here and avoid. I'll put it above mute witness to murder.
Okay, I agree with that.
I like it way more as my compromise.
I agree with that. That makes me happy.
And those are, how funny is that? Those are both similar episodes because they both a big chunk, a big important part of the plot on both of those happens on a balcony. How interesting!
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I actually didn't think of that. Avoid the balconies.
Yes. So next episode, for crying out loud, this was episode 8.
Oh.
And this is the one where the music, I guess, events director of some, event center or what do you call that? Not an event center. What do you call that?
There's a venue.
Venue. Thank you. A music venue. And he fakes this fundraiser for the Amazon. He takes the money and he's planning on leaving, but he gets caught by the accountant. The accountant, played by what's her name? Katie Seagal, I think. She catches him right. and basically blackmails him, but then he kills her. Then he stuffs the body and he's trying to get rid of it. But the whole time this is going on, his conscience is like yelling and screaming at him in his brain, and it just all kinds of hilariousness ensues. It's a very slapstick, very campy episode. Again, it has a lot of what I'm looking for in a Tales from the Crypt episode. And then in the end, the twist, by the way, everybody was looking at him and his conscience the whole time was telling him, they know what you did. They know you killed your banker. And the whole time he just had a Q-tip sticking way out of his ear. So the twist was pretty funny. So by the end, he finally admits to it, but they had no idea of anything. So I gave this episode a 4.1. You gave it a 4. Anything else you want to say about this episode?
I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just when we go and recap these episodes, when it's like a high number like this, I always think like, what could amp it up to a masterpiece? it doesn't like stand out to us. Like what could it be? Because I feel like it's right there. It's like I think it's one spice away from being a masterpiece, but I'm not sure what it is. Like something we could talk to ourselves into or what.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And for this episode, I think what held this episode back, and I still can kind of visualize it, is they did spend a long time up in that little, in his office. It did feel like it started to drag in that office because a lot of key plot points happens there. It's revealed he's taking the money. His conscience announces itself. His accountant reveals that she knew what was up. And the police come and do an investigation. Like a lot happened. It almost seemed like a play where it was like a one set, right? Where everything happens in that one set. So I guess it's not terrible. It's just watching an episode, I would have liked more back and forth. Okay, now he's going to the garage and now he's going to, other places around the area or something like that. Or, I would have appreciated more settings, I suppose. I think that's why I kind of, I got bored with the middle chunk of the episode, I guess is what happened. But it was a fun episode. And it was a fun episode. It was right after, let's see, where is it? For crying out loud, it was actually right after the sacrifice. So the sacrifice, and then we had this episode. So I think it was like a breath of fresh air, like, a funny episode. Oh, good. So I think the placement in the overall season was good. It was a good way to spice it up after kind of a lame episode. Definitely essential viewing, at least.
Yeah.
But what could bring it to a masterpiece? I don't think it's a masterpiece for me, but definitely essential.
Essential.
So I'm going to put it up in essential right now. And then it's, how far up essential do you think it can go? Do you think I think it's better than Dead Right. Do you think it's better than Dead Right?
I agree. Yeah. I think so.
Do you think
it's by like a hair?
Do you think it's better than Brother's Keeper? Would you rather watch it over Brother's Keeper?
No, Brother's Keeper's too good.
Yeah.
It's too good of an episode.
Okay.
I could not.
Yeah. And the last one on the list is Four-Sided Triangle, which was episode 5. This is the one where that woman is held against her will, right? She's being held captive. And that couple is basically using her as like free labor because they caught her stealing from a gas station or something like that. And they're threatened basically to call the cops on her if she does anything, tries to escape. And the whole time, the man is like just totally lusting for her in the most disgusting, gross possible ways, just always like peeping in on her and trying to touch her and trying to get with her. And it's a very gross episode as well. And she falls in. He knocks her out. After he knocks her out, she goes a bit loopy and she starts to fall for the scarecrow that's out in the cornfield. And at the end, when she's finally going to be with the scarecrow, the man dresses up as the scarecrow, and then, the wife stabs through the scarecrow, saying, "You dumb woman! This is just a bunch of straw." But she's actually, thrusting the pitchfork through her husband, and I guess that's kind of the twist. What did I give this episode? Where is it? I should highlight it. Actually, I should just hold this and highlight it. Is what I should do. What episode is this? Where is it? Oh, right there. Four-Sided Triangle. I gave this 3.25 and you gave it a 3.6 for an average of 3.43. What do you think?
It's one of my favorites. I like the whole setup. Like, yeah, he's just a creepy guy, but he kind of got what he deserved, at the end. And if I remember correctly, I think she got away. I think she was able to leave. Like, she had a happy ending.
Yeah, she did. She did leave, singing her weird song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dumb song that made no sense. I mean, I think that's the only thing I had problems with, was that dumb song. But for the rest of the episode, I did enjoy it thoroughly. I like the whole setup and ending for it.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. I would have liked, if they would have added a supernatural element to it, I wouldn't have minded. I kind of almost expected them to with the scarecrow. I think that would have been nice to have the scarecrow. I think this was the one where we actually ran through a few different other alternate endings we thought would have been more interesting. One of them was, the scarecrow actually comes to life and takes care of everybody, and then she's stuck with the scarecrow. We definitely had some other premises that we kind of kicked around.
I remember that.
I think would you put it in worthy?
I'm between worthy and essential.
Okay.
But I don't know where I land. I just know it belongs to one of those.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I like worthy. I think it's better. I think it's better than Ventriloquist Dummy.
The Secret?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is better than The Secret. Maybe it is better than The Secret.
What episode is leading? Worthy.
It's Judy, You're Not Yourself Today.
Oh, okay, yeah. I put it right behind that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, we'll put it there. It's worthy viewing. Maybe if you don't watch it the first time around, it's worth going back and watching at least once. I liked it. The twist was weak. I thought the twist was weak. Although him dressing up as a scarecrow legit was a twist. I didn't see it coming. And when he started to put her arms around her, I realized, oh, that's what he's up to. So I guess that was a good twist. It's just, there was no, because she was, even though most of the scenes took place from the man's perspective, he was the main character and he's the one who gets his comeuppance at the end. To me, it just felt like she was the main character. And I was looking forward to seeing how she would get a twist. I don't know. I guess that's why I kind of wanted the supernatural to kind of spice things up. But yeah, it was an all right. It was a good episode. It was definitely worthy. Well, there you have it. Crypt Keeper masterpieces would be Corman's Calamity, Television Terror, and Cutting Cards. So if you're just racing through the entire best of for each season box set, I would say just hit up those 3 episodes and move on to the next season.
Not just the masterpiece. I feel like you should also watch the essential viewing. I feel like that's also fair to have.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah.
And then the rest, I could just skip.
Yeah. So if you're trying to race through each of the box sets, I would say hit up the masterpieces and essential viewings, hit those episodes up, and then move on. If you want to spend more time with them, go down to include the worthy, and then if you're more of a completionist, or if the bottom 2 categories really interest you, then maybe stick around for those. But you can save yourself some time by skipping those ones on the bottom 2. There it is. That's fun.
I like your list. Yeah, it looks nice. It's solid.
Yeah, it was fun putting this together. I'm gonna have this a link to this list down below if you also want to fart around with it and move things around, and then maybe even share it with us. That'd be a lot of fun. And I'm thinking also, Godden, a week or so before this episode airs, maybe you could also link this. So maybe if this is already linked a week ago, you would have already done this. So if you did, share it with us in the comments. Share us your tier list. Well, that's that. Anything else you want to add before we move on from our tier list?
I'm just hoping the next season we get more masterpieces, but those are really hard to get, honestly.
Yeah. Well, there should be few of them, right? There should be fewer,
there should be few.
There should be fewer masterpieces, right? We should have a high bar for those. If you're interested in more Tales from the Crypt, there are other podcasts out there that also talk about Tales from the Crypt. I'll link them down below. So definitely reach out and show your support to them as well. There's a lot of people here in this Tales from the Crypt community. We're just a piece of it. If you're a big fan of us for some reason, there's more of me that you can find. Too Bad About Kenny. That's TOO Bad About Kenny, as well as the number 2 Bad About Kenny. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube, streaming video games, reviewing movies and books, and stuff like that. Godden, where can they find you?
They can find me streaming at Twitch at UAPP06. I play a variety of games and currently playing a horror game list, starting with Sat Hill, and then work my way through the rest of my games in the catalog. So if you do watch, stay tuned.
Yeah. If you want to stay up to date with what we are watching, next week, we are going to be starting season 3. So next up is season 3, and we have a special, I don't know if we should say this announcement now or save it for later, Godden. Season 3 started with 3 episodes, right? It was 3 episodes. And we're planning on releasing all 3 episodes in one day. So next time we see you, we'll see you 3 times. That makes sense? Am I making sense? Are the words coming out of my mouth making sense?
I think so. Maybe you might lost a couple people bit, but I think they get the idea. They'll see us as like how the premiere debuts were. Yeah, we're stacked into one day. We'll see 3 episodes from us in one day.
Yeah. So there's that. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't know if we're going to take a week off in between or just go right into next week with 3 episodes. So if no new episode comes out next week, just rest assured that we're taking a week off, but no more than a week off. So we'll either have 3 episodes ready for you next week, or we'll have 3 episodes ready for you in 2 weeks. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really figured that part out as far as our timing is concerned. So stay tuned, kiddos. No, stay tuned, kiddies. All right, everybody. Have a good week, or possibly 2. Until next time, stay creepy, my friends.
Well, how was that for a scream, Poison Ghoul?